When you think about Ryan, think about the culture that he's created. That's what we're here to learn this weekend. There's a lot of content tomorrow. Let's enjoy tonight. Let's not drink too much. There's going to be a lot of So, once again, everyone.
Take up too much time. I'm going to circulate in between every table, kind of as we go throughout dinner. Any questions you have for me, open-ended. Tonight's like fun. This is our kickoff, right? This is informal. Tomorrow we're going to be pretty regimented. There's a lot that we have packed in, starting with me first thing in the morning. So don't be late, or we will be funny. We know where you're staying. We unbooked all the rooms. Listen, brand is everything. Right? If people don't know what you're selling, they cannot buy it. If people don't know you're looking to buy property, they're not going to sell it to you. So how do you pull the curtain back and really look at this big picture, not just in what you're going to be able to do this year, right? And the goals you have this year, but let's think about brand as far as your careers and your businesses in 2025, right? What is Mission 2030 for every single person in this room? That's what I want this weekend to really be the kickoff for, so that in the next couple of years, you keep thinking back to something you remember from tonight or tomorrow, and you're like, thank God, I went up there and I froze my ass off in New York City with all the trash on the streets and all that stuff. And, thank God Gino kept his clothes on, because usually he doesn't, Are you going to sing for us? Okay, tomorrow. Here we go. They're going to get crazy. Right? So let's have some fun tonight. This is a local restaurant for us. Obviously, we walked around the corner. Our headquarters is just right around the corner, but we spend a lot of time here. These are our people. It's great food. So let's have a good time tonight, and we'll get to work tomorrow. Sound good?
Wow.
Yeah, kind of whatever you want. It's going to be a great day. We're going to be able to do a lot.
Don't ask Ryan, right? Lawrence the person, okay?
Don't come to me. That table made me take shots. This table, I got a lie detector test attached to me. That's happening at these tables. You guys are the best. We're going to have a quick David bar. It's going to be a lot of fun. Don't go out too hard tonight. So don't get a good night's rest. We'll see you on court. That's everybody.
Yeah.
When I started this company, it was about, how do I change the real estate business for tomorrow? Now, if I'm not a coder, if I didn't come out of, if I don't have a master's or a degree in computer science from MIT or from Harvard, then for me, it comes down to, how am I building the brand of tomorrow? The more people who know what I sell, the better. That's why I do all this stuff. That's why I have the studios team. That's why I have my name everywhere, because I'm not from New York, right? I wasn't born into a real estate family. I didn't even know I was going to do real estate when I first moved to New York City. I moved here to do theater. Okay? But I realized that the power of the phone and content to commerce drives that brand power, and you can build a business in your sleep so that you wake up a brand, you don't wake up an investor. Okay? If there's one takeaway you take from today, it's, what tools do I start putting into use tomorrow so that I wake up a brand and not just another investor? For me, there's tons of brokers, right? In the city alone, there's like 80,000. Okay, so there's tons of competition. For you all, there's lots of investors. There's banks, there's institutional investors. There's people with major pockets. They don't care what they pay for. Right now, inventory is tight. What are you going to buy? There's nothing to buy. The prices don't make sense. There's a disconnect between sellers and buyers. How do you bridge that gap? But there are deals to be done if you wake up brand and you put the market to work for you. I told this story on TikTok once, and we talked about it at dinner last night a little bit, but just as a quick little anecdote about the power of brands. And then I want to kind of go back a little bit, right? And any questions you have for me too.
Right. Being able to get up in front of a group of people you don't know and speak off the top of your head so they understand what you're saying, right? So Matt and I have been doing this for probably over 3 decades now, right? But I'm shy by nature. right? But taking a lot of improv classes, acting classes has given me the ability to get up in front of a group of people and try to share, what we've learned, right? What comes from the heart goes to the heart. So our goal is to help you just to be more authentic, more yourself, and use the tools of improvisation throughout your life and your career. The first rule of improvisation, which Ryan was talking about, was yes and. Saying yes to something and adding to it until you have to, need to, or want to say no thank you. A high quality no thank you, right? Let's make a cake. Yes, and let's make a cake with Oreo cookie frosting. Yes, and let's make a cake with Oreo cookie frosting and M&Ms on top. That's 3 lines of yes and, as opposed to let's make a cake. No, let's not make a cake, right? And then there's eat the whole cake. Then you can say no thank you, right? So yes and is the big tool we have. Making statements, not questions, right? Instead of, do you want to go to the movies? Let's go to the movies. Do you want to see this property? Let's go see this property. So it's turning those question marks into periods and exclamation points. And if you have fun, they'll have fun watching you, right? So ultimately, whatever you're doing, it's trying to have fun doing it. That's why periodically there's always a story on the news about somebody conducting traffic somewhere, and you're like, why is this a news story? Mm-hmm. It's like, because they're having so much fun conducting traffic.
Properties, it was going to make probably an 80% return for our investors, but it so happened that there was going to be another property up that we could buy on partially at 1031. So we ended up getting both deals under contract, and the buyer of my property was kind of putzing around with the wrong lawyers to use for his 1031. We ended up getting him to use our lawyer for the 1031, so we had all the transactions lined out with the ring, the title. So anyway, he buys my property. But it turns out 30% of the partnership wanted out. In the meantime, before we bought the first property, I had to go create a second offering to get about $1.9 million to buy out that 30% to be able to close the other deal. So we go ahead and we close the deal. Everybody high fives. Within 48 hours, we now close on the second deal. I'm thinking that I can lazily just do an ACH transaction and pay out the 14 investors individually through a separate account. No, the 1031 lawyer said, no, you have to wire them all out today in the next 3 hours. So I get with the title guy, and luckily I had enough of their bank account information. I'm calling everybody, slam. We shoot out 14 wires. We're able to close, and it was more important for the seller because he said, hey, if I got to wait another day, my prepayment penalty goes up because it was already locked in for the day. So it would have been a $40,000 loss. So I end up doing it, jumping backflips, me and the title guy, basically get it all sold. And in the end, everybody ended up happy. All my investors got out there all happy. All the investors got happy. So I was able to manage people's money in a very high intense, even though it's even just pushing paper kind of environment.
Thank you. Good job.
Ryan Serhant's Mastermind Summit is the background here. And there's so many people in the background. About 30 people. We take away with how to brand our stuff. 今天在 Ryan Serhant 的 Mastermind Summit 就是学关于如何打造自己的品牌。关于如何把自己做的专长的地方打造成自己的，有时一直在想挑战一下自己，而且从2020年开始，也交了一些学费去学习如何做自媒体。可是一直都不敢行动，觉得自己不够完美，感觉还没有准备好，设备买了很多，但是感觉很不好意思开始，所以多就做到现在，终于在去年的时候开始发了一些这个视频，反正我觉得没有开始的时候。 如果不开始，永远都不可能会有任何结果。但是开始了之后，再慢慢根据自己做的不好的地方改正或者是改善，然后就慢慢会变得更好啦。好啦，谢谢大家。Going back to Texas.
Yep. Wait, play with the kids tomorrow. Then
Driving to
Mississippi. See your sister.
and the properties.
Properties. Pick up the hardware. And
Yep.
on the awards.
Yep.
Then meet with supervisors and managers. Some planning for the first half of the year.
Yep.
So
Going to Starkville too.
yeah.
Long Beach, Golf Course, no, Gulfport. Biloxi, Ocean Springs, Hattiesburg, Meridian, Starkville. Yep.